Celebration time. It don't matter what part of the jewel you come from. You da you and me da me. But guess what? All are we the one. See what I mean? Jump and shout all over the nation. We're breaking out with a new creation.
Owen Sonny Meighan has been recognized as one of Belize's best athletes. Our Belize Watch team stopped by Meighan's family home to find out more about his life. He shared the joys of growing up in Belize City. We will have that conversation after we hear from our partners, Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust, the Barry, Shell Belize, and the National Gas Company.
Since 2008, the Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust has created opportunities for Belizeans to develop themselves and their communities. The trust employs tools that are intuitive, collaborative, and accessible so that every Belizean is empowered to achieve their full potential. Over 200,000 Belizeans have been impacted because of our various initiatives. The Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust, empowering Belizeans of today to create the Belize of tomorrow.
We are the Barry, offering you great products, good service, and of course, the lowest prices in the entire country. Visit us in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio Cayo, Orange, and now in San Pedro, La Isla Bonita. The Barry. Get more? Be less.
Shell V-Power, with 3 times more cleaning and friction-reducing molecules. Go well. Go Shell.
Let's be real. Forget the propaganda. Forget the hype. Forget the gimmicks. When it comes to butane, only 2 things really matter: the value you get and how long you can stretch your dollar. That's it. Butane is my business. It's how I feed my family. It's how I send my kids to school. What matters to you matters to me. With NGC, the quality of the butane is better. In fact, customers say tanks last as much as 2 weeks longer. And the cost, it's 1 cost period, whether you pick it up in the north, south, or by Belmopan. 1 supplier, 1 cost, no games. This lets me compete on a fair basis, and I can then pass on better prices to you, my customers. It's as simple as that. I am Stephen Bissett, and I deliver butane in the Belize district. NGC has been good for us in Belize. We welcome the transparency, we welcome the better product, and we welcome the fairness that now prevails.
The National Gas Company Belize Limited, fueling Belize forward.
It don't matter what part of the jewel you come from. You da you.
I have the honor and privilege of speaking with a very good friend of mine, someone who has been my friend for many years. I'm referring to none other than Mr. Sonny Meighan. And everybody call her Sonny. Yeah, not everybody call you Sonny.
Yes.
Your name after your father, right?
My name is Owen really.
Yeah.
Owen Leopold. But my mom said when she used to call for Owen,
You are there.
we both would answer. My father and I would answer. So he said, no, and I stopped that. When I holla Sonny, you're his son. So that's why I got Sonny.
Yeah.
Because my father and I were the same name.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that Owen Sonny Meighan, that's what we used to call her, right? To distinguish, right? And that Sonny was very, like he said, very important to distinguish him from his father. And maybe Sonny, that's a good place to start. Tell us about your parents, Owen and Mrs. Meighan.
Okay, well, my father was a policeman, a sergeant of police in the police force. My mom was Grace Fuller. Yes. Her brother was famous Herbert Fuller, who was a politician in those days. Their big home is still at the fort in front of the park. That's the Fuller's home. They met. I think the Fullers had a rum shop, I understand, in front of the police station Queen Street, and my mom worked in there, helping her dad, and the police station was just across the street, and I guess the policemen would come in now and then to shop, and that's how they must have met. The famous Fuller Rum Shop on Albert Street.
I know the Fuller Rum Shop on Albert Street.
That's Fuller family. That's the one my mother was. She was a Fuller from that family.
The rum shop was right in front of where Belize Global is at this point in time, right? I'm familiar with the rum shop. As a matter of fact, I got a little aside there. Mr. Fuller and I used to be good friends, you know, and I wanted to rent an area right there when I was doing Super B in the 80s, right? And I had procured permission from him to rent an area. John Fuller, to rent an area, and I didn't start with Super B. Well, I started building it, but I left to become chief broadcasting officer.
Right. Yes. You have a long story too. Yes. Yeah, and then well, from there they got married, and my dad, as a policeman, he was transferred many times. We lived in Coruscant for a long time. As a matter of fact, I was almost born in Benke. He was in Benke with my mom when I was about to be born, and they got to Belize. And I still cannot believe what my mom's telling me. She came to Belize on a plane from Benke in the 40s. No.
Yes, it was possible. It was Taka Airlines, the early Taka Airlines.
From Benke?
Well, not from Benke, it would have been from San Ignacio.
Okay. Yeah, and so that's I was born on February 7th in Belize City. Then my sister came along.
February 7th of 1944. That makes you 6 years older than I am, right?
Yes. I turned 78 in February.
And we are much older, both of us are much older than my co-host here, who is my granddaughter, Kylie. Let me introduce you to my granddaughter, Kylie. Kylie is Janelle's oldest daughter.
Yes.
Right. So, Kylie, I want to tell Mr. Meighan hello.
Hi, I am having a pleasure meeting you and having this interview and talk with you, and I'm excited to hear more about your story.
Okay. That's how we learn, right? Mm-hmm. That's how we learn. We learn from each other. Mm-hmm. All right. No, Sonny, let's go back to growing up. You came, your mother came on a plane to Belize City from San Ignacio. The early beginnings, I think, must have been of Taka Airlines, because that's how Taka started. Yeah, and you were born in Belize City.
In Belize City, yes.
You grew up here in the city, or
no? In the city. Grew up in the city. I lived on Northern Street. There's a little alley there, Stuart's Alley, they call it. I lived at the Fuller's home in front of the park for a long while. I lived on Eve Street for a while, and then we came to live here. So I've been here since almost 55 years I've lived in this house.
When you say here, let me just for reference say 67 Barrack Road.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Now, what was it like growing up in Belize City for you, Sonny?
Oh, it was fun. I was on heavy manners. My dad was a policeman, so I couldn't tease old people. Mm-hmm. Some of my colleagues were done. I couldn't go via the barracks without asking permission. I couldn't cross bad word, of course. And I couldn't do anything out of the way because they would tell my dad, who was a policeman, or report you to your dad, you know. And I grew up, I used to have to take a rest every Sunday afternoon. I said, but Dad, I'm 15, I don't need rest. But no, you couldn't rest. If you're going to Martinique, you have to rest. If you don't bring home good grades, no Martinique for you. I don't think you're going Friday and Saturday and Sunday Martinique. In those days, we had Martinique Friday evening and Sunday morning. Yeah. Pick a choice. No, so there are two good Western there. Yeah? So I want to see both of them, but I can't go, you know. I go to one.
And suddenly I hear my granddaughter whisper just now, Martinique. You want to know what's a Martinique?
Yeah, very curious.
You're very curious to know what's a Martinique?
Yes.
At that time they were, well, let me allow Sonny to explain. I know what it is because I used to go to Martinique myself, especially when they have double and triple headers, right? But let's start to explain what Martinique meant to him.
I think Martinique meant in the evening, in the daytime. Because Sunday morning was Martinique, and that's when they showed like what kids would like. And you used to pay 15 cents to get in, and you could join. You could get 2 in for 15 cents. So my dad would give me 8 cents, and so let's have 7 cents. We join and we get a ticket and we go in. And yeah, matinee was in the evening, and then there was a 5:30 matinee in the evening again. And as the old folks would know, they used to have double headers in the nights. And I used to go to matinees so much that there's no theater to go to during the day, during the night, because I've seen both movies.
So, is it like a party? Is it like a get together?
It's a regular movie, honey. Regular movie. Okay. Cartoons before, then the movie comes on.
It's like going to the cinema.
Oh,
right?
okay.
But matinee it's called a matinee because it's for children. The adults would go to the picture shows at night, and the children, younger folks, would go to the matinee. Matinee, they would show double headers, the 2 pictures at a time, sometimes up to 3 if you're lucky. Right, and there were people like Santiago Castillo who would, in exchange for Brookman tea coupons or labels of the tea bags, and so would give you tickets for you to go and see these movies. So you could go to matinee, like Sonny would say, maybe sometime you pay 7 cents or 8 cents, and you along with 2 Brookman coupons or something like that. There was a mixture of way how matinees were held. Right, you remember?
I remember those days. Oh yes. And then, well, for that cheap price, you have to go sit at a bench. They call it bench. You're way up under the screen.
Yes, under the screen.
Yeah, but we used to have fun. Yeah. We used to have fun. I mean, we had the Cowboys were there, Rocky Lane, Roy Rogers. Yes. Oh, and then the Tarzan movies. Oh, yeah. Oh, we used to enjoy those. Yeah, and then
your neck hurt you when you come out now because you're at the bench and you're looking up like that.
That is true. That is so true. And then, but I come straight home after matinee finished 12 o'clock. No, get home 12:30, 1:45. Where were you? Come straight home. Yeah, so I was on a heavy manners.
You grew up very disciplined, Sonny.
I grew up very disciplined, and I obey the law. That is what I'm not saying nowadays, but I mean, and when you hear a policeman looking at you or speak to you or correct you, you know, back chat and nothing like what happened now. You no, yes, it's a policeman. Arrest you. But they don't arrest me, but nowadays, if they say I'll arrest you, first thing the person asks them for what? Ask them things, then you just sorry.
And sometimes they'll tell you where you live and take you home too, and then your parents give you a lashing on top of. They're scolding the policeman to give you.
It happened at school too. If you go home with a mark on your leg, and what happened there? Oh, teacher lashed me. What? Go and find out why the teacher lashed you. And you know what the parents like? You get another lashing. Yeah. You get whapped 2 times.
Discipline to the max. I remember those days growing up, and going through that sort of thing. You respect the police officer. You don't answer back. And sometimes the police officer will say, "Where do you live?" and take you home, and what have you. So that. If you're a child wondering or about the place, but those were the old days, and you're just painting the picture. Now, school, Sonny, where did you go to school?
I don't actually play hooky because that makes it worse. Yeah. Hooky is when you purposely miss school. Yeah. You leave home with your books and everything, going to school, but you go play marbles somewhere else, you're not going to school, and then...
Bang hooky, they used to call it. Yeah, you still call it bang hooky?
Yeah, bang hooky, yeah.
Okay. So you still, I don't know, still have bang hooky. That was from my days.
Yeah, you go in the yard, and then when your mom left and then drive off, then you come out.
Oh, okay. You did that?
No. No.
Oh, okay.
I just hear.
Yeah.
I know do that.
You used to bang hooky, Sonny?
No. I'm not there bang hooky. No, sir.
I can't remember doing it.
I used to bang hooky, boy. You play sick here sometime. Yeah. A big exam come over. You're not ready for it? Aye, man. The belly hurts me. I got headache and so.
And then you've seen her, right?
Ross pills. Only pink pills. And holiday, so you get summer holiday, you call it. When school are open, for some reason, the parents think that you have to get clean out. I don't know why you made dirty to get clean out, but that's when you get Cena and Ross pills.
That was a combination.
In the bathroom. They live in the bathroom and then medicine there.
How when they used to give warm oil? You used to get a lot of warm oil?
Not much because I couldn't stand it, but you used to have to swallow it quickly with the honey.
Yeah.
And then go down.
Warm oil and put the honey in the middle of the warm oil and give you a spoonful of that and that's supposed to deworm you.
Have warm or not, you still take warm. Have warm or not.
Yes. You still have to take those things regularly growing up. Now, what school did you go to?
Whole Redeemer.
Whole Redeemer. You did the whole primary education at Whole Redeemer. Did you go any? There was no alternate school.
No. Well, when we were in Coruscant, up to about 8 years, 7, 8 years, there was a St. Vincent de Paul school I used to go to. No, sorry, a Catholic school. St. Vincent was a church across from where we lived. My dad used to live in the police home, no? But yeah, Whole Redeemer, yeah. That time Father Hoodop, remember that name, Father Hoodop? Bishop Hoodop was around, yeah. Eustace Usher. Most of the teachers have died. Miss Louise Spitz, she's gone. Mr. Pickwood is gone. Sister Xavier. Yeah, those were the days. Whole Redeemer.
And what were some of the things you like to do in school at Whole Redeemer that you continued doing in your latter years? Like you're a keen sportsman. Was it at primary school level that you found out that you love sports, or how did you find out?
Definitely primary school. Definitely at the school. And living at the fort in front of the park, there's a great sportsman. Many people think he's the greatest sportsman ever, but it's Roy Canton. I used to watch Roy jogging out there, getting ready for his races and whatever he did. And then they were into horse racing, so they used to take their horses out there to walk around. And I used to I just admire Roy jogging around. And then that's how I got into sports. And yes, at school, that's what most of what I did. I did partake in they used to have Christmas play every Christmas. They got Christmas, we got entertainment. So we used to take part in the play up at the parish hall. But yeah, sports was most what I did in primary school.
Okay.
We also had like Christmas stuff that we did in my school too, and we do that like at the end when time Christmas, and so it'd be like variety shows and stuff like that. So I used to always participate in those things, so I can relate on that end.
And that provides a good foundation for you to take part in that sort of stuff, right? Yeah. I remember taking part in plays myself as a young boy.
You must have been good at that because you're good speaking. The audiences, no, that's not my line at all. I opened a few ball games and throw the first ball and like that, but when it comes to that giving speeches, that's not my line at all.
Well, I'm not sure if I was good at that. I used to have a tight tongue. I used to, but I guess I just grew into it.
Yeah, we used to and we used to like because coming on to the time for the play, every afternoon you got practice. So we couldn't wait till the teacher said, okay, those in the play can go to the parish hall. That means no more lessons for that day. So we used to like that. Then you put on costume and put on lipstick and all. Yeah. And then you put, yeah.
It's a dress so seriously, though.
It's a dress so seriously.
Yeah, to fit the role. I think one time we played Josephine, our Christmas play, right? I had to put on a long robe. I can't remember who was married, but I had to put on a long robe and all kind of things.
Remember any headdress too?
Headdress and thing wrapped around your head. And so on. Yeah, those were the days.
And you had to sing sometime.
Yeah.
And that on my line neither.
I don't mind. Anything, Kylie?
So back to sports, like our school used to have like sack race and relay and stuff like that. So is that something that you used to do?
We used to have all of that at school, yeah. And maybe those were competitive things. Of course, we had marble and caparuche and top, gamma, stuff like that, lime and spoon. Yeah, those were prominent, and just before school closed or stuff like that. Oh yeah. And I used to mind goal as a goalkeeper. That was my only spin in football, only goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper.
But those were when I was very young. Yeah.
No. There's a game that came to mind just now as you were talking about Caparuche, right?
Tap,
Then but as kids we used to make our own trucks. You remember? Did you used to do that? We used to make our trucks. We'd take the cotton reel and put the rubber at the tires and put the rubber over the inner tubes on a broom and bring it down, and those were the rubber wheels of the truck along with a big nail. You remember?
I remember. I used to. My experience with that was when we used to have to back water.
Yes, we used to back water.
So I make my little truck. And I said the cotton reel in the tires and you back your water with that. And the inner tube was to make the cotton reel last a little longer or not sound so loud or run smoother. Yes.
Back water.
The only part I could relate to that would be kite making and making like little kites I used to make and make fly kite. That I don't make no car, but
but in those days, when he's talking about backing water, maybe I'll ask you something. I know this the answer, but maybe I'll ask you to explain to Kylie what it meant backing water. Because we don't do that nowadays. Nowadays you turn on a pipe and the water is there. But in nowadays it's your turn to go back the water.
And fill the drum. You put in 10 and then the other brother put in 10 to fill the drum. Oh yeah, and used to have a thing they call, you remember Bembe?
Yes, Bembe.
Yeah, some people, big people, you put your pan there and you are next. They just come move it and put for their own. And you can't do anything when they become bigger than you.
Yeah.
And they were noted Bembes at this water facility, yeah.
I think maybe for explanation and Kylie, I think we should maybe explain that in Belize City, Belize town at the time, there was no direct water system from house to house. They only had standpipes on the streets and a vat. So people in the houses had a vat where they collected rainwater, and that the water we would drink. Right. But then there was pipe water, what they call pipe water, that was piped into standpipes that were on certain corners of the street. Right. So you had a bucket parade. You had to bring your bucket and fill your bucket with water, right? And then take that water maybe and fill a drum at your home or something like that, so that you can have water overnight to flush your toilet and to wash your dishes and that kind of thing. Otherwise, you would not have water because you didn't have this turn on water system, right? So that's the way it was.
And to get warm water, you put that same bucket in the sun. Yeah, you know, have hot and cold running water. Yeah. You warm it, you warm it up, and then you bathe with that. Of course, you fight sometimes. You fight with your brother or sister because you put your bucket there, water warm, but you get distracted, you get away. And not if you take your bucket and go bathe with that.
Yes.
So you come home ready for being cold water because your warm water gone.
That's me. And I tell you that you in those days you didn't have the faucet that you would turn on in your bathroom. So you had to sit down in your bathtub and take a pan and throw the water over you, right, out of a bucket, right? So got it good.
You say bathtub just now. I used to be in a bowl.
Actually, I have had bath in the Lee wash pan where I wash clothes, you know. But
I remember there was
we've been lucky to have a bathtub on 33 Freetown Road, but no shower.
No shower. Oh no. No, those were the days.
Yeah, but you still had to go and back water, you know, what we call back water.
50s, so yeah.
So we've come a long way when it comes to that. You go to a tap now and turn on water. In those early days when Sonny was growing up, that was not the norm. You know, if you wanted water, you had to go across the street and get it, right? And that's where the little trucks came in. You put the buckets on the truck, get them in, and you pull the truck.
Yeah, little carts. That's right. That is so true.
Right.
That is so true. You're lucky you live. There's a pipe right across the street from you. Then you just back it. You know, but if you live a little distance, you have to get a little cart only. An old pram.
Oh Oh, yeah. Well, prams or use old baby carriages. Yeah.
Carriages, you fix it up and you put the water on that. You can't go too fast, you can't spill. Oh boy, those were good times.
And at that time, too, you didn't even have a sewer system like we have today, that you can connect to a sewer system. You had to dispose of that in some funny ways.
Yeah, when I lived in Eve Street, we had a latrine over the sea. Yeah. And so I don't have to flush or anything because it was over the sea. But then, 10 o'clock at night in the rain, not lighting, and you want to use the bathroom. You have to go to the sea. You got to go downstairs and go to the outhouse. Thank God, the days have gone.
And there'll be a bucket in the old outhouse.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you have this structure and there's a bucket underneath. And you know what that bucket does. And then there were people who would come around the following day and collect, as part of their job description, would come and collect the buckets filled with, and take it and dump it, and were paid for that, right, in the canals, where there would be an abundance of catfish waiting to consume it.
That's true. That is so true. That is so true.
That's real, right, sorry?
That's how it was. That's how it was. Yeah. I remember the lady face plane right now who used to come for the bucket. You hear this 4:30 in the morning, poor thing. And you go in with it, the canal go empty. Yeah.
That's how she made a living. That's how she made a living.
50 cents you get for the bucket. 50 cents. Not a lot of money. 50 cents. Yeah. I never have that problem here at this Baracru, but when the house on Eve Street, but that was over the sea too. But that was very inconvenient. But as when I say that's someone coming to pick up the bucket full with, and taking it to the canal to empty and bringing it back. Yeah.
Or out the barracks.
Out the barracks. Yeah. and they cut on there to wait.
Well, those were the days in early Belize, and Sonny, and to a lesser extent we lived through those days, those early days, because Sonny is a little bit older than I am. Yeah, but when I was growing up, it was pretty much the same status quo when I was a little boy.
Sonny Meighan has been active in sports for most of his life. When we come back, he details some of his successes. We now hear from our partners.
The B&E Charitable Trust, working in the development of Belize by inspiring young Belizean entrepreneurs to dream and to dream big. The National Gas Company, fueling Belize forward. The National Gas Company makes sure that you not only have a guaranteed supply of gas for every household need, but also that it is of the highest quality always. Shell Belize has been fueling Belize for many, many years, and they have done so reliably and with a lot of dependability. And the Barry stores in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio, Orange Walk, and San Pedro, offering you much more for much less. Since 2008, the Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust has created opportunities for Belizeans to develop themselves and their communities. The Trust employs tools that are intuitive, collaborative, and accessible so that every Belizean is empowered to achieve their full potential. Over 200,000 Belizeans have been impacted because of our various initiatives. The Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust, empowering Belizeans of today to create the Belize of tomorrow.
We are the Barry, offering you great products, good service, and of course, the lowest prices in the entire country. Visit us in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio Cayo, Orange Walk, and now in San Pedro, La Isla Bonita. The Barry. Get more? Pay less.
Shell V-Power, with 3 times more cleaning and friction-reducing molecules. Go well. Go Shell.
Let's be real. Forget the propaganda. Forget the hype. Forget the gimmicks. When it comes to butane, only 2 things really matter. The value you get and how long you can stretch your dollar. That's it. Butane is my business. It's how I feed my family. It's how I send my kids to school. What matters to you matters to me. With NGC, the quality of the butane is better. In fact, customers say tanks last as much as 2 weeks longer. And the cost, it's one cost period, whether you pick it up in the north, south, or by Belmont Pond. One supplier, one cost, no games. This lets me compete on a fair basis, and I can then pass on better prices to you, my customers. It's as simple as that. I am Stephen Bissett, and I deliver butane in the Belize district. NGC has been good for us in Belize. We welcome the transparency, we welcome the better product, and we welcome the fairness that now prevails.
The National Gas Company Belize Limited, fueling Belize forward.
It don't matter what part of the jewel they come from.
You became this avid sportsman, well known for in so many areas of sporting. Tennis, I could think of tennis, I could think of track and field, cricket, basketball,
and tennis.
Yeah.
5 of them. Track and field, baseball, softball, basketball, tennis. Yes.
Now let's look at Belize's performance in these areas, because I know you have played a series of international matches as well, right? How were we doing in those days in these disciplines?
Boy, we weren't doing too well. We competed, but most of the countries around us were a little further advanced. They knew about international play. Like when TV first came to Belize in the late 70s, was it? You can remember? We used to hear about Jerry West and the Los Angeles Lakers and Boston Celtics, but when you hear about it on radio, I read something about them. Then at SJC, the priests they used to get videos, tapes on those things, and that's how we used to see international sports being played, no? Baseball and stuff like that. And so we didn't do well. In football, I understand football in those days we were very competitive with the neighbors, because football was, I think, the most popular one. But now we're doing much better, especially volleyball and table tennis and even track and field. And our tennis players are playing much better now because of the exposure we've gotten.
But in those days, wasn't there one exception to what we're saying here? Remember the Golden Girls?
Softball, yes.
In softball. I think softball in the 70s, we did excellent in softball. I can remember the Golden Girls.
In Santo Domingo, when we won the gold medal.
Yes.
Yeah, some of the girls I still remember them clearly. Linda Lewis, Margaret Usher, Heidi Gomez, Beulah Gillett, Pat Bennett, BJ, Brenda Johnson. I can't remember all the names right now, but those were the girls who brought home the gold for us. Oh yeah, I remember as we used to play softball too, the male team, we used to practice with them and beat us sometimes, especially with the pitcher like Linda and Margaret Usher. Those girls were throwing the ball really hard, and they were good. We did win gold medal. I think we beat the United States one match, which is unheard of. We beat them. But that's true. In those days, female softball was our best bet to win medals. Best bet to win a medal. Yeah.
I can remember the amount of matches that were held, and we would always look good in female softball. Right. Yeah.
I remember playing at MCC grounds. That's where we used to play. Bermuda, Jamaica, one of the islands, another island used to come to play. Yeah, we used to do that. Raymond Lashley was prominent among the coaches. Remember that name, Raymond Lashley?
Of course, Raymond. Yeah, may he rest in peace. But Raymond was very instrumental in our successes.
Yeah, Inspector Colette Gill. We had Charles Hughes. I think he called him Babu. And he was called Carrots. Mr. Menzies. Mr. Menzies. I can't remember Menzies' first name, but he's a coach Lowlands. Oh yeah, those guys were very instrumental in bringing female softball to where it was. Yeah, And those girls, for some reason, used to come from, the better girls used to come from them, out of town.
Villages.
Yes, man, yes. Yeah, they were always strong and could run. And it was hard for them. Used to catch one bus or one truck, come practice the evening, and would get back to the village by night, and come back the next day if they worked in Belize City. And when they're traveling, used to, a month or two ahead of time, they go out, ask for $1. They ask for $1 to help the team to go and donation. No? I guess their sponsor will help with something, or the government will help with something, but they needed, they used to collect good money, just $1. If 1,000 people give $1, they got $1,000, And doing that for a month and a half, they used to collect more than, $8,000-$10,000 sometimes.
Yeah. And people used to go to see these games because in those days there was no television to say broadcast the games. Stay home and watch it. But you were also you did football a little bit. You told me what you did. You're not too crazy about football.
No. Well, what happened when I went to SJC? They had just finished the gymnasium, and they put up basketball court, and I sat aside to the basketball courts and not football. So I just forgot about football.
And your basketball career was a good one, from what I understand, from what I remember. You used to play at St. Ignatius.
Ignatius, yes. And then I played at Parish Hall and at the gym.
Yeah. Tell us about those basketball tournaments, because they were very popular. I can remember Gracious, Nacious, and all kind of exclamations. And I can remember going to see the games, and Sonny Meighan playing tonight, boy, so things are happening, and that kind of, what have you. Tell us about those days.
Those were the days. As I said, basketball was only held during the Lenten season.
That's right.
Because, it was a Catholic thing, and why during Lenten season? And because Catholics usually give up something for Lent. You give up something. Movies, or stop drinking Coke, or adults would stop drinking beer. Some people said, this, that. And anyhow, that was the distraction. You go to basketball season. And I remember the first team I played on, Miss Jane, at HRCU, sponsored the HRCU team. And, we did well. That team did well. It was Francis playing with us. There was Joe Martinez. There was Henry Cleland. There's a guy Trumbach. There was Saldano. Then afterwards, Bernardo Gay. As those guys moved on, we had new players. Colin Turton, Peter Young, Chuku. And we did well. HRCU did well. Our biggest rivals was Willie Wiley Wizards. And that's a guy when Willie Wiley used to, remember ice cream, Willie Wiley's ice cream?
Willie Wiley was right on New Road.
That's right.
Right? Willie Wiley ice cream was the ice cream at that day.
That's right. Across holding my backyard.
That's right.
Yeah, those are our chief rivals. The guy that Chico Ellis, Sharky Fairweather, Reg, the Boga, Gillett. He was calling them Boga. They were our chief rivals. There was Sidney Lightburn, Ray Lightburn, Ken Myvitt, Ted Lard. Those were the
A lot of people were involved in that, because I can remember going to St. Ignatius to the basketball games, and it was crowded, always crowded. You have trouble for finding somewhere to sit down.
That's right. There's a junior game first, then a senior game.
Yes.
Sometimes 2 juniors, then a senior. Yeah.
You mentioned lots of sports. What's your favorite sport?
My favorite sport really is baseball. I love baseball. And I had a thing which most of my fans around Belize know now. If I can get number 7 on my shirt, and I'm out to play.
Why is that, Sonny?
Okay. There was, in the early 50s when I started to follow baseball, there was the New York Yankees, the big star was named Mickey Mantle. His number was number 7. And I was born the 7th of February. And for some reason, whenever I travel and I go to a hotel, 8 out of 10 times I get number 7 room. And if I have to bet on anything, number 7, and most of the time 7 comes. You hear 7. You see my license plate number? My car?
No.
7777.
Oh, what?
And I've got that number since in the early 80s. I've been getting that number. It used to be 77, then it got to 777.
Rolling a little joke here with you. That means you're 007? Like
007?
007.
I use that as my, you call it, to open a safe or stuff like that. I would add a few numbers to it, but there's always a 7 in it, or 77. Okay. Yeah. So that's how I get to him. And I had planned to have a big party when I was 77, but then COVID was 77. I'm 78 now, so I couldn't have no party.
Well, you could always got to reminisce about those days, huh? Yes.
But that's why number 7. But yes, baseball, darling. I used to love baseball. It wasn't my best sport, but it was pretty good.
I used to play baseball at one point, and I like swinging in the bat and running for different. Yeah. So, what is your favorite part about baseball?
Okay, I used to be a pitcher, and I used to like throwing the fastball and a few curveballs. No curveball at the time, but I used to throw a curveball. And I used to, with your glove, when you take off your glove, you smell that leather still left on your hands. And then the crack of the ball off of the bat. There's always get your own song. You can know when you get a good hit when the ball going far. And that's why I used to like baseball. All the other sports competitive too, but baseball for some reason takes the cake. I find myself this recent couple of weeks there's NBA playoffs are on, and the Yankees are playing, and I would have my Yankees game on, and I have the basketball on, but every so often I switch to see Yankees. If I know who's coming to bat for the Yankees, I take off the basketball and go switch to the baseball. But I'd have the baseball on longer. Yeah. I played tennis too, but people think tennis was my favorite sport, but baseball.
We tell you play tennis every week, that's why.
Last 40 odd years, the others, I don't play basketball. Since 74, no basketball. Since 72, no baseball, no softball. Track and field, well, I don't do that anymore because I used to long jump and
Yeah,
run.
tell me about your track and field career.
Well, track and field started, it was a group of us. We played every sport. Colin Thornton, Peter Young, and I are all on the same team. Baseball, basketball, and then track and field. Bernard Gay. So at that time, track and field on the 10th of September. I think you remember that. That's the only time they have track and field. So we'd go to barracks and they would run. They were faster than I was, and I would jump. And I would win the jumps, and they would win the sprints. And then in 1968, the first time Belize sent a team to the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
I was lucky to be chosen to go to the Olympic Games as a long jumper. And Colin Thornton was chosen to go as a sprinter. We went to Mexico City, and that was an experience. When we walked into the stadium, 80,000 people around me. I've never seen so much people in my life. Oh, my goodness, we were hard, yes. And when we had to march in, I was lucky to be chosen as a flag bearer. I marched with the flag in front of the delegation, like Belgium, Brazil, Bermuda, Bahamas, Belize, and I saw. It came in alphabetically at that time. It still do, but some countries use a different method. Yeah, and I like to run a joke with my friends because we got beat, we got beat. They were like trials qualified to go farther on. In the first round, we had to jump 25 feet to qualify to go on to the finals. I only did 23, so I didn't go far on. But I like to say that the guy that won, Bob Beeman, if anyone remember that name, he is an American who jumped 29 feet and more. No one had ever done 28 before. And so he jumped 20, and they said because Mexico was high, that helped him, but that was the record, 29 feet. And I tell him, this Bob Beeman saw me in training and said, this the boy from Belize, I better jump far because this boy look like he ain't good. Which is a joke because, really, 29, 6 feet farther than I have ever jumped, or anybody. And yeah, that was a joke, but I sat right there in the sun remembering seeing him jump 29 feet.
Wow, so do you have like a picture of you with this flag when you came in?
Okay, yeah. Well,
This is a team in 1968.
1968.
Olympic Games, yeah. Mexico City.
So who is that's you carrying the flag there, right?
Wait, this here.
No, that's you carrying the flag this side here.
Side.
Mm.
Okay, I was a flag bearer. Mr. Net Vasquez, who sadly passed away. Mr. Net. He may rest in peace. He was the chief of mission. He was in charge of the entire delegation. That's what the chief of mission is. The other two here, well, among all of them here, there was Philip Rosado. There was Owen Phillips. He went for shooting. Philip Rosado was in charge of cyclists. We have Lester Hulse, shooting, and Alan Anderson he went as a shooter. And then we had Powder Sutherland, Kenneth Sutherland as cyclist, and Denfield McNabb, he was the other cyclist, and then Colin Turton, the other sprinter. Yeah, so those were this was a delegation for track and field for the Belize team.
For the Belize team. And this is in Mexico, like you were saying, and this is very historic because, like you say, it's the first time that Belize was taking part in the Olympic Games for the very, very first time. So that, in a sense, you are part of our history by being a part of that team, which was the first team to ever represent Belize at any Olympics.
Any Olympics, first time.
What did you do there, Sonny? You were long jump? Long jump.
Yes.
Yeah, and they say you couldn't jump that long because somebody may jump longer than you.
Well, they have qualifying rounds. Let's say they had 50 people go for long jump. Of course, because there are about 100 odd countries. So maybe you have 50, 60 long jumpers. But everybody can't go to the final, so you have to jump, let's say 25 feet, the first round. And whoever jumped 25 or more could go to the finals. And we didn't make the first cutoff, they call it. Matter of fact, only 16 people jumped in the finals.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many countries had a long jumper then, but nowadays, the last Olympics had 217 countries took part in the games.
But in fairness, did we have the facilities for you to have practice before going?
No, not at all. We used to practice at MCC grounds. I used to jump. We used to go beg sawdust around the wood cutters, the wood people who made the furniture, and that's what we used to jump in. So put the sawdust in. You run in a jump, no?
Yeah, you dig a pit and put the sawdust in it.
And of course, the sawdust is only 3 or 4 inches. So when you drop in that, your heel to pay for it, your knees to pay for it, and when you slip, you get hurt. And then, but the next day you have to practice again with that same hurt. But then we don't have facilities, though. We don't have the facilities.
And of course, this is long pre-independence because you can see you using the British flag here. Yes. So it was we got independence in 1968.
Yeah. And then that was our flag until 1981, no?
Until 1981, yeah.
I remember singing "God Save the Queen" during my days at school when I go back to school at Horodima. Remember that?
Yeah. The British national anthem was our anthem.
God Save the Queen. That's right. And then Save the King first. Then he died, and it was God Save the Queen. Oh yeah.
Those were the days, indeed.
I got some pictures here with them.
Where you got your son, eh?
That's a. I had only Colin Turton and I put there. So these are. Yeah, this is me and Colin Turton.
You and Colin Turton?
Yeah,
okay.
That's how we were dressed at the London Olympic Games 2012. Yeah.
But yeah, this is 2012 already because you already have the Belize flag there.
Yeah, that's there. Yeah.
The flag of an independent Belize.
Independent Belize. Yes.
Major difference. Yeah.
This is Olympic Games. This was donated to us by our famous designer in London. Can't remember his name right now, but he fixed us up. Usually we would march in a tracksuit, we call it. It may be made by Nike or Adidas or somebody, but he fixed us up, so we look smart. We look smart.
So you remained representing Belize in sports for quite a long time period of your life, right? A span of years, huh?
In 1983, I got voted to be a member of the Olympic Committee, and I'm still am.
Okay.
Up to now, from '83.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I've served as just a member, then I served as vice president. Now I'm honorary executive of the Olympic Committee.
Okay.
Yeah.
What experience comes readily to your mind when it comes to the Olympic Committee? Without giving it much thought, what experience?
The Olympic Committee. Well, my Olympic experience, it has helped me to first thing that comes to my mind, meeting most superstars. I've met Muhammad Ali. I've met Charles Barkley. I've met Pele. I've met Fidel Castro. I met Desmond Tutu. Remember that?
Yes,
Bishop.
Tutu.
Yeah, a lot of big names, kings and queens that are there with their team. You know, they go visit the team at the games, and so those are the memories I've. A lot of the Cuban high jumper who still holds the world record to this day. He jumped 8 feet. Would you believe 8 feet? A man can jump 8 feet. Sotomayor. I mean, I met those guys. I met there's this girl who was named after Fidel Castro, Fidelia Carrot. Yeah, I've met Marianne Jones. She was there with us in Australia when she won gold for us. I think the Jamaicans, Donald Quarry. I've met Donald Quarry.
Yeah, Quarry was a
Boy to Eye.
last night.
They sang him after him. That's right. That's right.
That's it.
Some the Duppy frightened the boy, and he ran so fast that even Quarry,
Even Quarry couldn't run it.
who was the world champion, couldn't catch him.
Yeah.
That's a way Quarry was a boy to eye. Yes, I met quite a few of them, and the experience for our athletes is our athletes would speak to their counterparts and tell them how hard they train and they must good luck and what they must do, what they shouldn't do, and even sometimes show them what they're doing wrong. Maybe a runner when he starts doing something properly. I've heard our guys had coaches who were good with them, but it's always good to hear from the athlete himself. Yeah. So my experience with being with the Olympic Committee is how it helps. It broadens our athletes. It gives them a lot of exposure, and we get help. We get a lot of help from them too. Colin Turton worked at a college in El Paso, and some of the equipment that the college would change. They're old, but they're still good, no? But get modern things. He would help us to get them down here.
Yeah.
And not the other athletes would do that.
So you have been outstanding in athletics, in tennis, basketball, baseball.
And track and field.
Track and field.
Track and field, baseball, basketball, tennis. Yeah, I've done well. I've done well.
Okay, you have done well indeed, representing us in way of sports.
Yes.
is concerned, right?
Meighan has been a mainstay at the Holy Redeemer Credit Union. When we come back, he speaks to us about how he got his start at the institution. We take a break to hear from our partners, Shell Belize, The Barry, the National Gas Company, and Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust.
Since 2008, the Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust has created opportunities for Belizeans to develop themselves and their communities. The trust employs tools that are intuitive, collaborative, and accessible so that every Belizean is empowered to achieve their full potential. Over 200,000 Belizeans have been impacted because of our various initiatives. The Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust, empowering Belizeans of today to create the Belize of tomorrow.
We are the Barry, offering you great products, good service, and of course, the lowest prices in the entire country. Visit us in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio Cayo, Orange, and now in San Pedro, La Isla Bonita. The Barry, Get more? Belize.
Shell V-Power with 3 times more cleaning and friction-reducing molecules. Go well. Go Shell.
Let's be real. Forget the propaganda. Forget the hype. Forget the gimmicks. When it comes to butane, only 2 things really matter. The value you get and how long you can stretch your dollar. That's it. Butane is my business. It's how I feed my family. It's how I send my kids to school. What matters to you matters to me. With NGC, the quality of the butane is better. In fact, customers say tanks last as much as 2 weeks longer. And the cost, it's 1 cost period, whether you pick it up in the north, south, or by Belmopan. 1 supplier, 1 cost, no games. This lets me compete on a fair basis, and I can then pass on better prices to you, my customers. It's as simple as that. I am Stephen Bissett, and I deliver butane in the Belize district. NGC has been good for us in Belize. We welcome the transparency, we welcome the better product, and we welcome the fairness that now prevails.
The National Gas Company Belize Limited, fueling Belize forward.
It don't matter what part of the jewel they come from. You that you.
Okay, Sonny, you were educated at Holy Redeemer Primary School. Then you went to secondary school. That was where again?
St. John's
St.
College.
John's College. Yes. And after leaving St. John's College, what did young Sonny Meighan do?
I got a job with Miss Jane at the Holy Credit Union.
How did you get that job, Sonny? How you land that job with Miss Jane?
Well, Miss Jane's family and my mom and dad they knew each other. We used to live through, because it's towards Alley now. It's where the Fonsecas lived, and Mr. Ben Stewart had some houses in that alley. It's just in front of the flour mill, going to the fort.
Okay.
And we yes, going to the fort. Don't the St. Mary's has a tennis court. The St. Mary's Church, then a tennis court.
Yes.
Then the next home after that. It's something to do with tourism right now, but that's where we lived, through that alley, and Miss Jane lived in the alley too, and she took me in.
How did you meet Miss? Well, I guess by growing up, you might have known Miss Jane growing up, right?
Mrs. Betty, and when we were our compatriots at that time, I mean, our age range, Betty and Francis, our age range, so Casey, we knew them, and Miss Jane knew us, and that's where we started.
What was the charge to you? As a teller, okay.
I started as a teller, yes. It was just Miss Jane, Mr. Teddy Marine, and I. And there was a guy named Sati Castillo there, but he was leaving. He was leaving. That's why Miss Jane took me on. Sati Castillo was leaving. Okay. And it was just 3 of us. And then at that time we were
only 3 of you working in the credit union at that time, Sonny? Just 3?
Just the 3.
Where was the credit union located? At the same spot? Same spot, but it was a small building, though. I can remember a small building being there.
My father Hood, Miss Jane tells me that this spot was given to the credit union by Father Hood at the time, then Bishop Hood. So that's why it's called Hood House.
Okay. So, Sonny, you're almost as old as HRCU? Right, because you were there from the very beginning. There was only 3 of you working in the office.
44. I was older as them, because we just celebrated, as you see, the book says 78 years. So I'm 78, and it was started in 44 in credit union. Jane says she worked at SJC as secretary, and I think it's Father Guinea asked her to come across and to cover the credit union, and that's where I started. And
there were 3 ladies, right? And each of them were required to put a $1 or something, 25 cents or something like that.
And I used to remember Saturday morning when I went to play cowboy, I want to go fish, I would go to credit union and go save 25 cents. And that's how we got started. I've been a member since 1958. I checked something, 1958, my parents put me in the credit union. I used to have to go every Saturday morning, go save. And yeah, but it kept growing after that. I can't remember any more staff that far back. There was, right, I remember Martha Marin, Pauline Rivero, even Miss Joe Ramos used to come work, part-time. Then, of course, one time Miss Jane Children when they were on holiday would help. A little just putting away cards or counting stuff or not really dealing with money, but just there as little messengers do the post office and like that. Pick up mail, running a check to get signed somewhere.
Hurricane Hattie struck in 1961. Where were you when Hurricane Hattie struck? At
Right there.
What was it like for the credit union when Hurricane Hattie
It
struck?
took a licking. Highland is one of the highest portions of Belize City, Highland, Pickstock Street area. But we had water almost, 4 or 5 feet in there. There was a mark left there for a long time. Jane wouldn't paint it, but after a while we got it painted. A lot of stuff were ruined.
Records and so were lost.
Well, those were taken out or put high, but it was, I remember shoveling mud for days and days and days.
As a little aside, tell us your experiences with Hurricane Hattie. Going through the hurricane itself.
Okay, first time I experienced a hurricane, I remember before that, when going to school, when here hurricane would come, we glad because no school. Stay home. That was good. And a little bit of water, a little bit a lot of rain and so, but when Hattie hit, the first time I experienced a hurricane, my mom knew about the 31 hurricane and Miss Jane and other people, so they knew what it would have been. We never know. We were glad when the hurricane come. But then the morning after the hurricane, we were saved in a building on Craig Street, Eve Street really. I think the Hofius people used to live there, just across from the convent. It's from
So you went to take refuge there?
Refuge there. There's a big vat, cement vat, all cement that was like a storage for whoever lived in that building. And that's where we saved in the vat.
Wow.
And then in the morning...
In the vat?
Yeah, in the vat. It's big, really big.
And it was an upper vat, it was high enough for that water.
Water came up, but it didn't come in.
Okay, because it didn't go inside the
It
vat.
didn't get inside the vat. No, it didn't get inside the vat. In the morning, if you remember, if you know SCA, there's some fences that run along it, then it goes up going towards the sea. Well, when we looked out the morning, all we were seeing the little, what do you call it? On those fences you have the little peak.
The spike head.
That's all you were seeing. I think this was water.
Yeah.
So we had to take day and a half to get to the water to subside. And when it got to like our knees, we had to come and we wonder what was happening here. And when I pulled that corner around there, boy, no roof, everything gone. All the things we had put in the roof or put up high were wet, all gone. I used to collect baseball cards and stuff like that. Everything ruined, gone. And well, after a while, we got the house fixed up and we got some zinc and so. But there was a tarpaulin on top for rain.
Talking the same house here we are now.
Yeah. And then we used to go pick up ration up at the fort.
What were your experiences picking up rations?
That was fight after fight, and then getting it home because you couldn't come on bicycle to bring it home. You have to walk with it, so you go, you stop, you come and you stop, and then the same thing over and over, you eat.
Yeah.
And then no light, lantern, and bully beef, they call it. Yes.
Yeah.
Anita frying was about a year after that.
Yes. Kyle, you want to see rations after a hurricane? No easy. I remember I was 11 years old when hurricane had struck and I was going to Western College. But then, so I remember hurricane Hattie, that's why I could relate to what you were saying.
Yes.
Hattie very, very well.
Yeah, then time I never had no cars, so I don't have to worry where the car going with bicycle. I get all rusty with the salt water. Dead chicken all around, dead animals.
When you pass a street, you have to walk straight through a house. Like go through the front door of the house and come out through the back door to just cross the street, pass the street. Right? Because the house is right in the middle of the street. Sitting in the middle of the street, and you walk right through the house.
I remember,
those were the days.
poor Miss Jane's house was gone completely. I mean, only the cement foundation was there. She had a big piano there, which is just gone. I don't even know where the piano get to. And a lot of other places were like that, just flattened.
Just flattened. Yeah.
Drop, and then the water come and wash away everything.
Yeah, Hattie was horrible. I hope we never get another hurricane like that.
Must have been a category
That's a
5.
5, yeah.
Must have been a 5. Must have been a 5. And they weren't warned. My mom said they were out celebrating 10th of September.
That would be 31 hurricane.
Oh, sorry, 31. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. But she knew about the hurricane because of the experience with the 31, yeah.
You see, with the 31, they were out celebrating. Your mom would have been out celebrating in 1931 when that hurricane hit and created a lot of devastation. They were celebrating 10th of September. Because people died because of that.
That's right. They never knew what it was like.
Yeah, my story on that, one of the persons that told me a story on that was Right Honorable George Price. He almost lost his life.
That's right.
He was heading 1931 hurricane.
And he got caught. That's right. That's right.
He was going to St. John's College, which was at Landiva. Port Loyola. So that's 1931. Now we're talking 30 years later. 61 came Hurricane Hattie. And you experienced that. It devastated Belize City. But the credit union had to rebuild. And you were working at HRCU, and you had to rebuild the credit union. What went on there?
Well, little by little, we rebuilt, and eventually we knew we had to put a top on. So they started put there was a upstairs, no? So see what it is now compared to then. There was just this little house and then the top. But look at it now. Thanks to Miss Jane and all of us, we like to say we helped to build it too, no? But she was the main person behind everything.
How do you describe Miss Jane to us? Because I know Miss Jane very well, obviously, but like Kylie might not know I've known Miss Jane. How would you describe Miss Jane?
Well, I have her picture right there. She was like second mom to me. Yeah, she and her family took me in, no? I get sentimental when I talk with Jane.
I could imagine. Yeah. I could see that. I could see that, and I could feel that talking to you, because a lot of us remember Miss Jane. I can remember Miss Jane when I went for my first loan to get married, and I explained that, I was 19 years old at the time, and she loaned me the $500 or $600 or something like that, and that's what I used to sponsor my wedding. So many years ago, and that's 50-odd years ago.
Yeah. But she helped me in everything.
She was very helpful.
Everything.
Yeah, she was a unique person. So
she
managed to grow that credit union.
Yeah. She helped me to learn how to live, how to save, how to borrow, how to speak to people, how to almost everything.
It's difficult. I could see it's difficult for you, and it will be difficult for anybody close to her to really say something on camera like this about her, because she was such an outstanding personality.
That's right. She helped to. She's helped. That's how she helped you and I. She helped millions of people, and by when she left, it was terrible. It wasn't the same then.
Yeah.
After she left, because we were from the old school, and there's people. Other people nowadays, the younger generation, I guess you can't try to experience with that. Even your kids, the younger generation, they think different than we do. The values we have nowadays that mean nothing to them. Yeah. I never curse in front of a police or curse in front of a priest or a nun or anybody of authority. Prime Minister, whoever party he is, he's the Prime Minister. He is the man. You like it, you never vote for them or not, but he is the man. And all the values I learned coming up with Miss Jane, and of course my parents and other people too, but Miss Jane was always there for me.
So you stood at the credit union throughout all its years of growth, right? Anything you want to share with me right now about those growing times of HRCU? Because HRCU has grown from being this tiny little credit union, which was started by 3 ladies saving 25 cents each, right, to one of the largest banking institutions in the country of Belize, right? And it's the fastest growing banking institution. So something had to be planted correctly there for it to grow and to grow so solidly, you know. And you were there at the very beginning.
Yes, and people who, Miss Jane, her husband, Sir Henry, Santos Diaz, Eval Wade, Rudy Castillo, Alvan Fuller. Those guys, none of them got a university, you know, so you don't have to have no lot of education to see how it's built to now. When I started working there in 1961, we had about a little less than 2,000 members. How much we have today? 600,000 members. We were worth, what, I think it was 8 or 18 or 1,000. No, we're worth $650 million. We're worth. What a growth! I mean, and we are modern. I remember you come in when I was a teller, you have to find the interest for this person. Oh, the little booklet you look at, a little thing you pull and so. Nowadays, when it comes in, when there's a account there, this is your loan balance. This is the last thing you pay. This is your interest for the last thing you pay. Right there. I mean, our system is state of the art.
Yeah.
And some of the banks don't have like that. I mean, we were able to put in dividends and interest for people in one overnight.
Yeah.
Just a touch of the button.
Yeah.
And your interest is right there, your dividend, your rebate.
Yeah. And seemingly HSU has known how to invest its monies wisely, because what these institutions do is to take their monies and invest it in different areas and get the returns, and the returns is what they would turn and share back with the people that have their accounts there.
BTL has how we invested. I mean, BTL, the new gas company that's just confirmed.
National Gas
Company. Telephone company. We just built almost I think it's over 60 houses now up at mile 14, and it's low cost.
Yes.
You will get a house and lot for like $100,000. No, sometimes just paying $400,000 just for property, nothing on it. But you're getting a house and a lot there for
with electricity and water.
Everything. And the spot that they picked, there's no water getting there. Mile 14, the engineer said that flood not get there at all. You get wind and so, because it's less than 5 miles from the sea. You know, the area there by the airport. People run the airport for when hurricanes coming, but the airport only was about 10 miles from the sea or less, you know. Because from the airport to the Spalia Strip was about 7-8 minutes in a plane. You just come right across the river and so the tradition has gone a long way, boy. We're doing better. We give no bank or institution gives as much interest as we do. You get burial benefit. A member dies tomorrow, you get $5,000 to help to bury the person. That used to be like $1,500, but as the years go on, and the undertaker knows you have $1,500 to bury this person. Here I am. You find a little bit to cost a little more, no? The same coffin maybe cost $200 at $1,500. Then get $2,000 now. Okay, coffin at $250 now then. But that's another benefit the Christian gives you.
Yeah.
And they had the educational grant. We give almost $500,000, $500,000 every year for educational grant. You know, we help students, members who are students, give them some money to help with school. It's a grant, it's not a loan. We give it to you. And we used to give a lot more, but let's say we used to give $800 just for SJC. But it's gone to $4 now because so much people apply, you know.
Remind us, you said you're gone to 600,000 members?
No, 60.
60,000.
600
million in cash. Mixing up the what, over 60,000 members from 2,000.
Yes.
Yeah, and if we want to go back to the beginning from 75 cents to $600 million. That's phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a story that should be told, because by all standards, it's a tremendous success story.
Yeah. And we only cater to, we do business with, let's say, 60,000 people, and we made about $36 million this year. Gross, I mean, we're giving back $26 million to the members. And that's only but some companies cater the whole country, and I make that.
Yeah.
Some businesses cater the whole country.
So
all the telephone company and whatever, they're not only 60,000 people they feed or they cater to. We only deal with 60,000 people, and we make $36 million.
So the investments have been well made and paid off.
As usual, COVID affected us in that people lost their jobs. So if you promise $100 a month on a loan, you don't have no job, how you pay 100? You can't pay.
Mm-hmm.
So we would say, okay, try get the interest only, or just try pay half if you could. Anyway, we gave a little ease until things change. Mm-hmm.
When you find now that things are picking up a lot, I know you are no longer there on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. How does that feel? So you are retired now. How does that feel?
I don't feel good at all.
From all the action there.
Yeah, I'm not used to that at all. I used to play tennis Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday. And there's this, I don't play as much as before. All my counterparts I used to play with, my teammates, and so most of them have stopped. My main partner, Billy Musa Sr., has stopped. My son stopped, the Courtneys. Michael Young, my great friend, died. He left us. John Langsworth doesn't play anymore. Skippy Fuller not play anymore. Lance Sabito has gone. Frank Wheeling has gone. Dean Linda has gone. Those are the guys I started playing tennis with, because I started playing tennis late. That was my sport until in the early 70s I started playing tennis. Yeah. But I'm not get used to retirement yet. I'm not get used to it yet.
You're not used to retirement?
No. I take care of
Unfortunately.
plants now. Yeah. What happened in early March 2020 when COVID hit, I think was San Pedro the first one. And I kept watching it, and then some people in Belize City started getting COVID, and because of my age and so, they sent me home.
Okay.
Just till COVID passed, I figure 6-8 months. COVID's still here.
Yeah.
So all at 2020, all at 21, and they decided, well, you turned 78 now. 65 is the age you should retire, really, but they kept me on, no?
Yeah.
And they decided to retire me at my 78th birthday, which is in February. Yeah.
So you were just retired then, officially at the 78th.
But I've been home since 2020.
You have been home since 2020 because of COVID, but you just retired.
But I'm still not used to it yet.
Okay.
You mentioned savings and borrowing and how that works. What's your best advice for people that want to know how to save and borrow properly?
Well, our slogan is save regularly, borrow wisely, and pay promptly. That's the credit union motto. So I try. The borrowing is people just borrow sometimes for what they want, man. They don't really need it, And that's why I advise people and try to help them to. And get in some habit. Some people can borrow for house rent, borrow for paying the utility bills. No, that should come from your salary, man. Extras is. You borrow if something like, say, medical, you don't have the money to go for medical treatment, then okay, come for a little loan. Maybe Christmas time, Easter time, you get only loan. So people just chronic borrowers every month, then pay back $500 and they come back and borrow $4,000. I mean, you owe $1,000 come this December, and you pay every month, you pay, and next December, when you come for loan again, you still owe $1,000.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you should borrow wisely, darling. That's most important. And pay promptly. If you promise $100 a month, and something comes, you can't pay the $100, pay $50, pay $70, pay $25, but not just not coming,
You have to pay interest on top of interest, right?
That's right.
The interest for 1 month will accrue on the loan.
That's right.
That the interest you did not pay for that 1 month, so the loan becomes higher by that amount of interest, and you have to pay interest now on that higher amount, which also includes the interest that is charged for the money you never pay. So it makes sense to pay promptly, and that is very important what you're saying.
Just come in and say something. Not like they have to call you, because the system you have automatically you are called about your loan, it's a little red mark. Call you again, another one, and so when you look it up, you come for a loan. So and so have 4 red marks. That means you have to call them 4 times about your payment. We have to really interview her why they pay and if she must get more. So we're doing well, and great establishment, darling. Great establishment. I've learned how to save and how to borrow and how to. So I'm retired now, and I'm okay.
So what is your proudest achievement or achievements?
Well, I'm happily married for 40 years. I have 3 lovely children and so on. And so I'm proud of that, And well, my sporting career has been good to me. I've won almost every thing I've been into. I've been MVP for basketball. I've won all the tennis tournaments, singles, doubles, mixed doubles. I've been honored by my countries. I've been Belize Patriot. I'm a senior justice of the peace. Never been to jail. Through my Olympic experience, I've visited 34 countries. And as I say, I've met some really great people. Not only abroad, but Belizeans. I got a prize photograph. I keep it with past Governor General Sir Colville. I have that in my trophy case. My colleagues, my teammates, they've all been great to me and with me. Most people have been good to me.
Yeah.
Most of my friends have been good to me, and I don't think I have any enemies. So that's it. That's about it.
Okay. Well, Sonny, I really enjoyed this conversation. I've known you for many years. You're, like I said, you're about 6 years older than I am. But I've known you, I can't remember for how long. Right, it's been from Radio Belize days, no? And that would have been from the 1960s, late 1960s, somewhere around there. So that's extremely long, and that's well over 50 odd years. And so it's always nice to talk to Sonny, and I want to thank him for allowing us to talk to him on Belize Watch today. I really enjoyed this, reminiscing about the old Martinique times and the different times that we had as children growing up in Belize. And in my case, I could blend it a little bit with my growing up in Honduras. And I never lived far away. I was born on Tigris Street and then grew up on Freetown Road, which is on the same, not too far from where Sonny area, so.
Because of that house with Helen Mara used to live there.
That's right, the Mara lived downstairs.
I used to go there, yeah.
And I met you there as well, years ago. That was when I was 14 years old.
Look at that. Yes. Those were good days. Yes, sir. And now both of us lost a hair, boy. What are we?
The one and only Sonny Meighan. Right, look up a lot to Mr. Sonny. Right.
Thanks a lot for choosing me, Randy. Thank you.
And I need to thank him too, because when I go to HRC, you and Sonny is there, I get special treatment. And it's not that he's cutting off anybody else or anything like that, because if he's busy, he'll say, "Wait till the well when it does." But we make sure that I'm treated properly when I go to HRC.
I was so concerned to help him that I used to ask him to please call and tell me when you're coming, so you don't have to stay long. When you come, I have everything ready.
That's the relationship we've had with Sonny. Said, "Boy, come cross, and so on. So people say, how Mr. Sonny do it, probably." But because we got a long time.
You can't hear me coming, yeah. Thanks again, Rain. Thanks for for thinking about me. Thank you.
Thank you too, Sonny. All the best, my brother.
Thank you.
All right.
Nice meeting you, pretty good. Nice meeting you, darling. Tell your mom
You
hello.
want to ask a question?
No, I had a really nice time here talking to you, and I learned a lot about the past and your life and your experiences with sports, and I had a very nice time talking to you. Thank you.
Yeah, this has been fun. Definitely, I enjoyed this conversation, and it's all about love, right? So, you know how we usually say it, no, Sonny? It's all about love, right? You know?
What's the slogan?
Belize and beyond. Thanks for choosing love. You know the slogan, Sonny. Belize Watch. Knowledge of the past, impacting the present, building the future.
Celebration time. It don't matter what part of the jewel you come from. You and me. But guess what? All are we the one.